Mr. Lofton, who's your attorney?
Matt Murphy?
Okay, I've got Mr. Murphy. You want to take care of your case?
Sure.
All right, Mr. Murphy, I have Mr. Lofton.
Morning, Your Honor.
And his file. All right, come on up to the podium. So this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Rodriguez Lofton, file number 24-21769FH, and Matthew Murphy appearing on behalf of Mr. Lofton, and I have Amanda Wagner appearing on behalf of the people. I do see a demand for transcript dated April 17th of 2024. Looks like it's required to be filed by July 5. So, Mr. Murphy, how do you want to proceed with Mr. Lofton today?
Your Honor, I was going to ask, excuse me, to set a trial on this matter. I believe we'll get the transcripts in time for me to file a motion to quash before the trial date. So I think we should just get the trial date scheduled and go forward from there. I think the trial would probably take a 1-day jury trial.
All right. Ms. Adams, do you want me to just keep the red book today, or do you want to look for a date?
I can bring the red book in, Judge.
She's like, yeah, I don't want to do that. And I'll need a notice. I'll pull it out if you can get a copy when I'm done. All right, so July 5 would be the transcript. Mr. Murphy, you're scheduled for trial on July 30th with Michael Gray. Would you like this one backed up to that?
No, Your Honor. I think Michael Gray will probably go to trial, and I think this one will probably go to trial. I think, yeah, if we could schedule a different day, please.
Thursday, September 5.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so that'll be a 9 a.m. start date. And if we do September 5 trial date, I'll do I'm going to do an August 14 pretrial. That's the only pretrial I have available before that trial date. So August 14 trial, the pretrial at 8:30 in the morning. And then I'm going to require that July 31 be the deadline for jury instructions and voir dire questions. And I'll make August 14 the motion deadline. Ms. Adams, I'm all set if you want to. You can make a copy for Mr. Lofton. All right, so Mr. Lofton, if you want to just sit down on the bench behind you, we'll get you a copy of that notice, all right?
Thank you, Mr.
All right,
Lofton.
so he's. All right. Mr. Dagger Margosian, I have Miss Rafalo here from MDOC.
Okay, may I? Your Honor?
You kind of broke up, what'd you say?
Yeah, it was a little echo. Can I speak with her, please, Your Honor?
So this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Lisa Marie Rafalo. Is that how you pronounce it, Rafalo?
Yes, ma'am.
File number 24-21800F8. I have Michael Dagger Margosian appearing on behalf of Ms. Rafalo, and I have Isaac Sneed appearing on behalf of the people. This is a date and time set for a pretrial. So Ms. Rafalo, I'm going to open up a breakout room. Find it, there we go. And give you an opportunity to speak with your attorney. If you're not able to come back on your own, I'll bring you back in when Mr. Dagger Margosian comes back. So go ahead and join that breakout room. Okay, she's gone. Okay, what are you here on, Mr. Hurton?
Boykins and Hill.
Ms. Hennigan's on Mr. Hill, and I don't
Yes.
have her yet. Okay, I'm doing a bunch of jail rooms. Okay, so Mr. Murphy,
Yes, Your Honor.
I have, I think you have Mr. Jasper, right?
Yes, Your Honor. Could I get a breakout session?
Hold on, let me call the file before we start talking.
Okay.
This is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Ernest B.T. Jasper. We have two files, 23-21587FH and 24-21778FH. I have Matthew Murphy appearing on behalf of Mr. Jasper, and I have Mr. Bayonetto appearing on behalf of the people. All right, what were you gonna say, Mr. Murphy?
Your Honor, could I have a breakout session with Mr. Jasper, please?
All right, I just on Wednesday mornings, I'm just giving you a warning. I don't usually allow breakout rooms. We don't have time for them because we expect everybody to meet in advance. So I'll give you just a few minutes, Mr. Murphy.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Find you.
I'm sorry.
All right, Mr. Jasper, hold on. I'm going to open up the breakout room and you'll get that invitation to join. There you go, Mr. Jasper. Okay, and are you guys here to watch or what's your name?
Kenzie Miller.
Okay, are you here to watch? I think you're here to watch, okay. Who's your attorney?
I believe Rhonda.
Okay, Rhonda Underwood is next door. She starts there and then she'll come here, all right? Mr. Malaro, I got a bunch of people in my waiting room, so let's see what we got.
Judge, I'm here for Miss Miller, so I'm gonna pop in the other room since we have to wait
Okay.
for Miss Underwood anyway.
Okay. All right, I have somebody who's logged in on a device. Oh, there we go, a gentleman in a beard. What is your name, sir?
Blake Barton,
Blake Barton, and who's your attorney?
Matthew Murphy.
Perfect. All right, Mr. Murphy is with us. So I'm gonna change your screen name. He's in with another client, so I'll put you in the waiting room, and as soon as he comes back, I'll bring you in, all right?
Okay, thank you.
All right, I have jail room 3, young man. What's your name, please?
Jacob Kelly, Your Honor.
All right, okay, and you have Mr. Murphy, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Change your screen name. Is there an EY or just Y?
Just one, Your Honor.
Okay, so I changed your screen name. Darren Baker. Mr. Malaro, I have Mr. Mr. Murphy's back, but Mr. Malaro, I do have Mr. Baker. I'll start with him next. Let me bring the jail room back. All right, Mr. Jasper. All right, Mr. Murphy, how would you like to proceed on behalf of Mr. Jasper?
Your Honor, I think we have a plea worked out in file 2421778 with Mr. Jasper pleading to count 1.
Hold on a
That's
second.
charged.
What file number?
24-21778-FH. The offer from the people is for him to plead to count 1 as charged, which is a felonious assault, dismissal of count 2 and 3, and no habitual offender supplemental on that.
Okay, hold on, Mr. Murphy, hold on. Okay, so I gotta add that file number. There is a file number in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Ernest Thomas. So it's not Ernest Jasper, it's on a different page of my docket. File number 24-21778FH. Let me grab that file, Mr. Murphy. That's what I was missing. Maybe. Okay. All right, so he's gonna plead on that file to what?
It would be to count 1 as charged, which is a felonious assault, dismissal of counts 2 and 3, and there would be no habitual offender on that. Now in file 23-21587FH, the offer from the people is for him to plead to count 1, which would be false report of a felony, dismissal of count 2, and no habitual. Now, Mr. Jasper does want to plead on to felonious assault today. We have gone through, and he is competent, and we have gone through the criminal responsibility evaluation. Excuse me. He has been found responsible. He understands that. He does wish to go forward with a plea on that file. On the false report of a felony, he does not at this time. I was just asking for another pretrial to be set so I could speak to Mr. Jasper in my office or at the jail, and speak to Mr. Baronetto
He's
further
gonna be able
about
to
that
come to your
file.
office. He's at the jail, so.
Well, I was going to ask for a bond modification after the plea on the other file, Your Honor, because I believe you don't be held on the felonious assault.
Okay, Mr. Murphy, stop for just a minute. So Mr. Baronetto, there's 2 pleas on each file. Are they independent of each other or required to be pled together?
Your Honor, I was not aware of the false report of a felony file. It was still assigned to Mr. Fleming in our system, so I was just looking at that this morning. I would obviously prefer that a global resolution be reached, but if the court wants to take the plea on the other one today, I'll leave that in the court's discretion.
Okay, are these going to be no contest or guilty pleas, Mr. Murphy?
It would just be a plea to guilty to the felonious assault.
Okay, all right.
There wasn't a discussion about the plea on the false report at this time. Again, that was just mentioned this morning.
Okay. All right, okay, so today he's gonna plead on 778.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, hold on a second. Mr. Murphy, would it be easier to put them both over to next Wednesday so you could talk to them and do them all at once?
Your Honor, I don't believe that Mr. Jasper would want that, because he wants me to have him plead and address bond on that file at this time because he wants to ask for a PR bond. My understanding.
Well,
Your Honor, I think we can still address bond today, and that would at least, if we put this over 1 week, that would at least give Mr. Murphy and I an opportunity to discuss the other case that I didn't know about. Perhaps there is some resolution we can come to on that, and then we can resolve everything together potentially next week.
If we could do that, Your Honor, and just address bond, that'll probably be the easiest then.
I think so. All right, so I'm gonna set both of these over for pretrial on June 5
Yes, Your Honor, thank you.
at 8:30 in the morning. And you can do the stick in order to adjourn those. And you can go ahead and address bond.
Your Honor, Mr. Jasper has been in custody now for some time on this file. He has been on a I think it was a PR bond on the false report of a felony. Now, Mr. Jasper has gone through, again, the competency and criminal responsibility evaluations. He has been taking his medications and been behaving appropriately in regards to that while he's been in custody. He has had issues with his mental health from being in custody. He has had, because of his PTSD and the nature of that, being in custody has caused him to have, I would say, desires for self-harm. I believe that Mr. Jasper, given the length of time he's been in custody, given the fact that we have a resolution worked out on the felonious assault file, he has an understanding that there is a no contact order. He has no reason to contact the victim in that matter. He would, he appears, on all cases, he appears at my office. He has there's no issue with a flight risk, Your Honor. I believe that a PR bond would be appropriate to allow him to be out of custody. He, quite frankly, understand the court has concerns based upon past behavior, but I believe given the situation, he has been in custody for some time now. He will be staying. He will be able to find a place. He said he will be able to stay at the Adrian Inn. I know that's not ideal, Your Honor, but obviously Mr. Jasper, I believe, will be behaving appropriately while he's out of custody. So I would ask the court to consider a PR bond at this time. Again, we will be readdressing, hopefully have a resolution or a trial set on the other file, Your Honor, by next week.
Mr. Bandetto?
Your Honor, I think any bond modification at this point is not warranted. Mr. Jasper has a very significant criminal history and a long criminal history of violent offenses. He was out on bond for the false report of a felony case when this new felonious assault case happened. There was an allegation in the new felonious assault case that he threatened someone with a knife. Given that, I would have significant concerns over public safety. I think a cash bond is appropriate in this case. That'll give Mr. Murphy and I an opportunity to perhaps find some resolution. But I think any bond modification at this point would be premature.
So, Mr. Murphy, I did change the other bond from a PR to a 5,000 cash surety back on February 7th. So he doesn't have a PR bond on one of his files. But when I look at his prior history, his prior mental health history, as well as the fact that he has no permanent housing and his need for medication, I don't feel it's appropriate. I think his bonds are set at an appropriate level. And we can readdress it next week, but I'm not going to grant your request for a bond change today. So Mr. Jasper will be back next week, and Mr. Murphy is going to come see you before then. And we'll see you back then. We put the criminal or competency on the record. Is that correct, Mr. Murphy? I think we did.
I believe so, Your Honor.
Yeah,
that was a bit ago, and then we're just waiting for the criminal responsibility.
All right, Mr. Jasper, you're all set.
Mr. Murphy, we got the criminal responsibility back. I got it on my desk yesterday. If you don't have it yet, let me know and I can get it over to you.
I have it. We got it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank
We
you.
can address it next week.
All right, you're all set, Mr. Jasper. All right, this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Jacob Dean Kelly. We have two files, 23-21287FH and 24-21801FH. I have Matthew Murphy appearing on behalf of Mr. Kelly, and I have Amanda Wagner appearing on behalf of the people. This is a date and time set for pretrial in this matter. Mr. Murphy, how would you like to proceed with Mr. Kelly?
Your Honor, there is an offer from the people. I was waiting to hear back if Mr. Kelly had been accepted into drug court or not. I haven't heard back from Ms. Teskey, so I was going to ask to adjourn the matter. I believe that we do have a resolution ultimately worked out if he is accepted. If not, we'll have to reevaluate because it's contingent. The offer is contingent upon that. So hopefully we'll have that figured out and the case resolved before the next pretrial.
Ms. Wagner, did we screen him last week or are we screening him this week? Do you remember?
I don't remember seeing his name, Judge, so it might be this week.
So we're probably screening him this week, Mr. Murphy.
So we put in, I know it was a bit ago that we put in to have him screened, so I don't know.
Okay. How far out would you like a pretrial?
I mean, quite frankly, I guess if however long it takes for the court to screen him and then we get an answer, because I believe we'll accept the offer based upon that. Again, if he's not accepted, then we got to reevaluate what the people are willing to do.
Okay, I'm looking to see if Miss Rubley sent an agenda. I don't have it yet, so he may be being screened tomorrow. He would know if we've already screened him. So let me ask Miss Rubley.
Good morning, this is Teresa.
Good morning, this is Judge Anselone. I have a question. Did we receive a request to screen a Jacob Kelly?
We did not.
Okay, all right, I will check with them then. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Right. So, Mr. Murphy, we don't have that, so it might have gone to the wrong person. Could you send that over? Can you email
Yeah,
that to?
Okay.
I understand
It says
that,
we
but could
emailed
you
it on the
email that?
11th of April, so I'll get that resent, I guess.
Who did you send it to?
I don't know. It was just, I don't know.
Okay,
My
could
assistant
you
sent
send,
it.
Mr. Murphy, could you send that, email it to Teresa Rupley today?
Yep.
Forward it to her right now, and then we could probably try to get him in Thursday if there's enough time for someone to visit him at the jail. All right?
Okay.
And what I'll do is I will set this out to my next available one, which is June 26th at 8:30 in the morning. And you can do the stipend order to adjourn. All right, Mr. Kelly, we'll see you back June 26th at 8:30 in the morning, if not sooner, okay?
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank
Your
you.
Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Murphy.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly.
Okay. All right, so I have Ms. Hennigan, let's see, Mr. Murphy, I have Blake Barton. And Mr. Barton's turn signal. All right, this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Blake Anthony William Barton, file number 23-21272FH. I have Matthew Murphy appearing on behalf of Mr. Barton, and I have Alexander Bayonetto appearing on behalf of the people. So, Mr. Murphy, I do show the plea offer last I heard was plead as charged to count 1. No subs, count 2 must be being dismissed. So, Mr. Murphy, how would you like to proceed today?
Your Honor, the Court of Appeals denied the preemptory or the motion for preemptory reversal by the people, but accepted the appeal. That was last week, I believe. We got the notice last Monday, so we're just waiting for a resolution on that. So we just need to set a pretrial out for the appeal to get worked out.
Okay.
Yeah, I assume that's what the people want because it's their appeal.
That's correct.
Okay. I don't know. So do you want just another pretrial?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So I have July 3rd you're gone that week, right, Mr. Murphy?
Yes, Your Honor.
July 17 at 8:30 in the morning.
It works for me.
Works for the defense, Your Honor.
All right, so Mr. Murphy, if you can do the stipend order to adjourn.
I'm not sure the people do it because it's their appeal. They're the ones that are asking basically to adjourn for that appeal. Right?
Mr. Bayonetto, you can do the stipend order, I guess.
That's fine, Your Honor.
Okay, so what did I say? July 17 at 8:30.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. So Mr. Barton, July 17 at 8:30 in the morning.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Barton.
I have no idea what that's about. Okay, so Mr. Barton, you're all set. You can disconnect.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, I have, where's Rodney Hill? There's Mr. Hill. I have Maris Hennigan, I have Douglas Hartung. I'll get Mr. Hill's files. Allergies bugging you today, Mr. Hartung?
Oh, yeah.
Me too. Mr. Hill is connecting. Trying to connect. What else did you say you had, Mr. Hartung?
Brian Blake.
Oh, I already did. No,
Oh, did you?
no, I didn't. I did Barton Blake. Okay. All right, Mr. Hill and Miss Hennigan, if you're ready, we can proceed. All right, I got Miss Hennigan and I got Mr. Hill. All right, this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Rodney Lamont Hill. We have 3 files, 22-21189FH, 22-21190FH, and 24-21703FH. I have Mr. Hill, I'm going to mute you for just a minute because I'm kind of picking up background noise, and it's okay. So I have Douglas Hartung appearing on behalf of the people and Tamaris Hennigan appearing on behalf of Mr. Hill. Ms. Hennigan, how would you like to proceed today with Mr. Hill?
Thank you, Your Honor. I did have a chance to speak with Mr. Hartung briefly, and I think we need to get a trial schedule set on this case. And I'm still hopeful that we'll be able to work out some type of resolution along the way, but given the court's constraints on timeframes, we probably need to get a trial date set on this.
Mr. Hartung, any objection? It would be on the 24-21703 file.
No objection.
Okay. How many days do you think you need for trial on this file, Mr. Hartung?
Probably a couple.
Okay, so we are into September. Let's see. He's not in custody, so I might have no jury trial. I am looking at Tuesday, September 17th at 9 o'clock. Mr. Hartung?
That's good.
Ms. Hennigan?
That's good.
All right. And then we will do a pre-trial on, let me check, 9/11. We'll do a final pre-trial on 9/11 at 8:30 in the morning. Voir dire questions and jury instructions are due on September 4. And September 11 of 24 will be the deadline for all motions. All right, I have filled out a scheduling order and we will get that out to everyone. Is there anything else we need to address on this file, Ms. Hennigan or Mr. Hartung?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, very good. Thank you both. Okay. All right, Mr. Hill, thank you. All right. Malaro, Mr. Dagger Margosian, when you turn off your video, I forget about you. So I'm going to close the breakout room and bring Ms. Rafalo back.
Thank you.
Sorry,
That's okay. Thank you.
I'm a visual learner, so if I don't see you, I just think you're gone.
I'll keep the camera on. Thank you.
Okay, then I know you're waiting for me. Unlike Mr. Malaro, who just never turns on his video for me. All right, this is back on the record in the matter of Lisa Marie Rafalo. Mr. Dagger Margosian, you've had an opportunity to speak with her. How would you like to proceed today?
Your Honor, I have spoken with her. Today is the time and date set for a circuit court arraignment. However, we are in a position to enter a plea. I did work out the specifics with Ms. Arnold in district court. We did waive the preliminary exam pursuant to that. So I can certainly outline the plea and sentence agreement for the court at this time.
You waive the reading of the felony information?
Yes, waive the reading.
All right, thank you. So Mr. Dagger-Margosian, what is the plea?
Your Honor, the plea is that Ms. Rafalo will be pleading guilty to count 1, and in exchange, count 2 would be dismissed. The habituals and supplements would be dismissed. That's the plea portion of this. There's also a sentence agreement between defense and the people. The sentence agreement is that the sentence would run concurrent with her current prison sentence. She would be given credit from the time of the arraignment on this case, which I have it as March 1st of this year. And lastly, that the sentence itself would be 42 months as the sentence, and then obviously the statutory maximum being 140 months.
So 42 to 140 months.
To 42 to 240.
Oh, 240, okay. To count 1, dismiss everything else. Okay, so the plea offer is plead guilty to count 1, controlled substance, delivery and manufacture of methamphetamine. She'll get credit going back to March 1 of 2024. And her sentence will be 42 months to 240 months with the Michigan Department of Corrections.
And that this sentence would run concurrent with the sentence she's currently.
Yep, oh, sorry, and concurrent. Let me write that in. Was that a correct recitation of the plea, Mr. Sneed?
Yes, it is, Your Honor. Thank you. Thanks, ma'am.
All right, so Ms. Rafalo, you want to raise your right hand for me? And you're going to have to speak pretty loud because you're far back, so thank you. Do you keep your hand up? Yep. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, good. Can you hear Ms. Speed?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, good. All right, so ma'am, you can put your hand down. So you are Lisa Marie Rafalo?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, now you've heard the statement of your attorney and the prosecuting attorney. Is it your intention to plead guilty to count 1, controlled substance, delivery, manufacture of methamphetamine? Is it your intention to plead guilty to that count?
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand that your sentence will be 42 to 240 months with the Michigan Department of Corrections, concurrent to the sentence you're currently serving, and it would, and they would dismiss the rest of the charges, and you'll get credit back to March 1. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Are you satisfied with Mr. Dagger-Margosian as your attorney and the advice that he has given you?
Yes, ma'am.
Other than what was placed on the record, neither the prosecutor, the defendant, nor anyone on the defendant's behalf has discussed any other possible sentence with the court. Is that correct, Mr. Sneed?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
And Mr. Dagger-Margosian?
Correct, Your Honor.
And Ms. Rafalo, is that correct as far as you're aware?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what are you serving a sentence on right now, Ms. Rafalo?
3 years.
Okay, all right. So ma'am, if a guilty plea is accepted, there will be no trial. This means that you will be giving up rights you would have had at trial. I'm going to explain those rights to you now to make sure that you understand them. You have a right to a speedy public trial by jury. You may ask for a non-jury trial, and if the prosecutor and court agree, you can have a non-jury trial. You have the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to have the prosecuting attorney prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty, and you do not have to prove anything. You have the right to be present at trial and have witnesses against you appear at your trial and to ask those witnesses questions. You have the right to have the court order any witnesses you have for your defense to appear at the trial. You have the right to remain silent during your trial, not to have your silence used against you. However, you also have the right to testify at your trial if you want to testify. Do you understand that if your plea is accepted, you may be giving up the right to appeal issues that would otherwise be appealable if you were convicted at trial? Do you understand that, ma'am? Sorry, did you understand that, or can you not hear me? Oh, I think we've lost her. Ms. Rafalo? It's you, I don't know how to say this. It's you. Can you have that fix it? Show she's connected. All right. All right, so you're Rhonda Underwood, right? Anybody else in here a defendant for today? Who's your attorney?
I think John Glacier.
John Glacier, okay. All right, see Malaro. Mr. Malaro.
Yes, Your Honor.
I have Darren Baker. Do you want to take care of him real quick
Sure.
while we're waiting for MDOC?
Also a defendant marriage.
Huh?
I'm also a defendant marriage.
Okay, hold on. I thought you're just here to sing. I didn't. You're up at my top, yep. All right. Ms. Rafalco, I'm gonna send Ms. Rafalco a note to hang up and call back in. Chat, why do I not have chat with her? I'm gonna disconnect her. She's gonna have to call back in, it won't work otherwise. All right, Mr. Baker, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Darren Toshia Baker. We have 3 files, 22-20898 FH, 22-20899 FH, and 22-20900 FH. I have Salvatore Malaro appearing on behalf of Mr. Baker and Isaac Sneed appearing on behalf of the people. Mr. Malaro, how would you like to proceed with Mr. Baker?
Judge, Mr. Baker's in a group home out west of here somewhere. I have some time Friday. I want to go talk to him in person about the resolution we discussed at the bench conference. So I'd ask to either set this for trial or adjourn it one more time.
So let's set it out for another pretrial. My next available is July 3rd. So we'll set it for pretrial on July 3rd at 8:30 in the morning. And you can do the stipend order to adjourn, and then we will see you back on that day. So Mr. Baker, Mr. Baker, we'll see you back here on July 3rd, and Mr. Malaro is going to come visit you, okay? Okay. Oh, shoot, he's not even connected.
Thank you, Judge.
Oh, hold on, he disconnected from audio. So, all right, Mr. Baker, can you hear me now? All right, Mr. Baker, Mr. Malaro said he's going to come visit you and to talk to you, and then I'm gonna set this over for another pretrial on July 3rd, okay? So July 3rd at 8:30, and your attorney is gonna come see you, okay? All right, Mr. Malaro, if you reach a resolution with Mr. Baker, could you bring him in on a day other than a Wednesday? Call Miss Adams and schedule that.
Yes, Your Honor, I could do that.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Baker, you're all set. You can disconnect. 8:30. 8:30.
No, what time is the person gonna be here on Friday to speak with him?
I don't know when the attorney's coming to see Mr. Baker, but he'll set that up. Oh, she
But yeah,
disconnected.
Judge, I'm gonna try and do it this Friday.
All right, she disconnected, so they're gone. Okay, so, MDOC, Mr. Dagmar-Gosian has not logged back in. If you want to go over to Judge Olsey, do you have anybody else in front of me? You do. Hold on.
Yeah, I do with you. I don't have any others, so I'm fine.
Okay, I got Timothy Fathy. I have, take care of him. And do you, John Glazier's Boykin, so. Jack, did you go? I do have Brian Boykins in my wing. Yeah, he's been here since I logged on this morning. Mr. Fathy, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
All right. Oh, I got MDOC back. So hold on a second, Mr. Fathy. Give me 1
Okay.
minute. Hold on.
Is that who you were saying? Yeah, okay.
Yes. Hi, I'm so sorry. I just disconnected you because sometimes if you reconnect, I get audio again.
Okay, so you're all good?
We're all good. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So Mr. Dagmar-Gosian, we're back with Miss Rafalco. I was going through the advice of rights. Miss Rafalco, do you want me to start over or do you remember where we stopped?
I remember where we stopped.
Okay. I don't remember
Sorry
where I
about that.
stopped. No, it's not your fault, but I don't remember where I stopped. So I'm gonna start with Jasper and jury. Okay, so ma'am, do you understand if a guilty plea is accepted, there will be no trial? This means that you will be giving up rights you would have had at trial. I'm going to explain those rights to you now to make sure that you understand them. And I think I read you this, but I'm going to do it again. You have a right to a speedy public trial by jury. You may ask for a non-jury trial, and if the prosecutor and court agree, you can have a non-jury trial. You have the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to have the prosecuting attorney prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty, and you do not have to prove anything. You have the right to be present at trial, have witnesses against you appear at your trial, and to ask those witnesses questions. You have the right to have the court order any witnesses you have for your defense to appear at the trial. You have the right to remain silent during your trial, not to have your silence used against you. However, you also have the right to testify at your trial if you want to testify. Do you understand that if your plea is accepted, you may be giving up the right to appeal issues that would otherwise be appealable if you were convicted at trial? Do you understand that, Ms. Rafalco?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that any appeal from the conviction and sentence pursuant to the plea will be by application for leave to appeal and not by right? Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
If you are not a citizen of the United States of America, a conviction of a crime may result in deportation, exclusion from admission to the United States of America, or denial of naturalization. Do you have any questions about the rights that I've given to you?
No, ma'am.
All right, so Ms. Rafalco, how do you wish to plead to the charge that on or about March 7 of 2023 in the village of Britain in the county of Lenawee, that you did commit the offense of controlled substance delivery, manufacture of methamphetamine? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Has anyone made any threats or promises to you to induce you to plead guilty to this charge?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand if I accept this plea, you will be giving up any and all claims that your plea is given as a result of promises or threats that were not disclosed to the court on the record during this hearing, or that it was not your own choice to enter the plea? Do you understand that?
Yes.
Is the prosecutor or defense counsel aware of any promises or threats or inducements other than the plea bargain to induce the defendant to plead guilty? Mr. Sneed.
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Dagger Margosian.
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Has your attorney promised you any? I know we promised pretty much a comprehensive sentence agreement, but other than that, has your attorney promised you anything else regarding your sentence or anything else, fines and costs, conditions, anything like that?
No, ma'am.
Is it your own choice to plead guilty?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so Ms. Rafalo, on March 7th of 2023, were you in the village of Britain in the county of Lenawee?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you have in your possession at that time methamphetamine?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and you had it and you knew it was methamphetamine?
Yes, ma'am.
And was it your intention to deliver that to someone either by giving it to them or selling it to them?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Mr. Sneed, are you satisfied?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Has court complied with MCR 6.302 B, C, and D? Mr. Sneed.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Dagger Margosian.
Yes, Your Honor.
Accept the plea. It has been given understandably, voluntarily, and accurately. The defendant has full knowledge of his rights. He does have competent counsel. This court has made no agreement, but will honor the sentencing agreement that was placed on the record. I'm going to refer this matter to the probation department for a pre-sentence investigation. And you are at Huron Valley, so they will know to go there. So let me find you again. And I'm going to set sentencing for August 1 at 8:15 in the morning. So Ms. Rafalo, you can appear in person if you would like, or you can appear via Zoom. What would you prefer?
Via Zoom.
Okay, so that'll be a Zoom sentencing. Somebody from the Michigan Department of Corrections, Probation and Parole will get a hold of you and they'll do an updated pre-sentence report from probably the last one that you had. Be truthful with them about your background, these events that occurred. And Mr. Dagger Margosian is really good about getting into MDOC, but we understand that sometimes it's difficult because of the number of people trying to get in to visit people at MDOC. So if he can't review it with you in advance, he will review it with you that morning, okay?
Okay, ma'am.
All right, thank you, Ms. Rafalo. We'll see you back on that day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, hold on. Sam. Trying to get rid of Sam, not get rid of Sam, but get him on his way. Mr. Malaro, I have Ashley Hill.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Ashley Jean Hill, file number 24 dash, let me remove Ms. Rafalo so she can go on her way. File number 24-21702FH. This is the date and time scheduled for first pretrial in this matter. Let's see, I have a note in here. We were supposed to review 7411 on the misdemeanor possession of cocaine. I don't know, I don't remember what that note refers to, Mr. Malaro, but I'm assuming you do. So how would you like to proceed today on behalf of Ms. Hill, Mr. Malaro?
So, Your Honor, I did receive some information yesterday regarding Ms. Hill that I would like to pass on to the prosecutor, and then I think we could probably come to a resolution on this matter. So that'd be my request.
Are you going to put that on the record, or?
I'd prefer not to.
Okay, so are you asking for another pretrial date?
Yes.
All right, that's what I was trying to do. All right, so my next available pretrial, are you available July 3rd, Mr. Malaro?
Yes.
Okay, so we will set this for another pretrial on July 3rd at 8:30 in the morning. And Mr. Malaro, if you can do the stipend order to adjourn. Ms. Hill, just zoom back in on July 3rd at 8:30 in the morning, all right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Malaro. I can call the jail for Mr. Montoyer. And hi, this is Judge Ann Sloan. I am ready for Anthony Montoyer and Scott Rogers.
Montoyer and Rogers.
Yes, sir.
Got it.
All right, thank you. All right, so you get your jail people, Mr. Malaro. And I think that's all I have left for you, Mr. Malaro, the 2 people in custody. Is that correct?
Yeah, that looks like it, Judge.
Okay. All right, Mr. Dagger Margosian, you represent Mr. Fathy, I believe. Yes?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'm gonna find him. All right, Mr. Fathy, you can still hear me?
Yes.
All right. This is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Timothy Charles Fathy, file number 23-21219FH. I have Isaac Sneed appearing on behalf of the people and Michael Dagger Margosian appearing on behalf of the defendant. This is the date and time scheduled. I don't know, we're like at 4 or 5 now, but Mr. Dagger Margosian, how would you like to proceed today?
Your Honor, we do have a resolution in this matter. I appreciate the court being lenient with adjournments here, but we do have a resolution. Mr. Fathy is going to be pleading guilty to a misdemeanor receiving and concealing stolen property 200 to 1,000. In exchange for that, the original information will be dismissed. Lastly, there is a sentencing agreement for fines and costs only that really is based on kind of the length of the case and obviously the facts and factors within it. Importantly, there is no restitution, so that's the complete plea and sentence.
You said receiving and concealing, was it less than 200 or 200 to 1,000?
200 to 1,000.
All right, is that a correct recitation of the plea, Mr. Steen?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and there's no restitution, but I'm assuming there's a victim in this case?
There is no victim, no instrument was cashed, nobody was financially injured. So because of that, and maybe the court's getting at this, I would be asking for an immediate sentence if the court would be willing to do that today.
Mr. Steen, is that something I can do, or you want me to set it for a sentencing date?
Well, I believe we still would need a sentencing date just to comply with the Victims' Rights Act, Your Honor.
Okay, very good. All right, so Mr. Fathy, you want to raise your right hand for me? Yep, that one. Okay. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right. Can you state your full name for the record for me?
Yes. Timothy Charles Fathy Sr.
All right. Mr. Fathy, you have heard the statement of your attorney and the prosecuting attorney. Is it your intention to plead guilty on an amended information to count 2, receiving and concealing it's stolen property, 200 to 1,000, which that is a 1-year misdemeanor, but sir, the plea agreement would be no jail, it'd just be fines and costs. So is it your intention to plead guilty to that misdemeanor?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with Mr. Dagger Margosian as your attorney and the advice that he has given you?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, neither the prosecutor, well, there's a pretty comprehensive sentencing agreement, but other than the amount of the fines and costs, has anybody promised you anything?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Malaro, why I'm taking a plea, do you need a moment to speak with either Mr. Montoyer or Mr. Rogers?
Sure, Judge.
Both or one?
Yeah, both.
One at a time though?
Yeah, one at a time would probably be best.
Okay. So Mr. Rogers, I'm gonna pop you and Mr. Malaro into a breakout room, and then Mr. Montoyer, when they come back, I'll pop you in one, all right? Okay. Sir, if a guilty plea is accepted, there will be no trial. This means that you will be giving up rights you would have had at trial. I'm going to explain those rights to you now to make sure that you understand them. You have a right to a speedy public trial by jury, You may ask for a non-jury trial, and if the prosecutor and court agree, you can have a non-jury trial. You have the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to have the prosecuting attorney prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty and you do not have to prove anything. You have the right to be present at trial, have witnesses against you appear at your trial and to ask those witnesses questions. You have the right to have the court order any witnesses you have for your defense to appear at the trial. You have the right to remain silent during your trial, not to have your silence used against you. However, you also have the right to testify at your trial if you want to testify. Do you understand that if your plea is accepted, you may be giving up the right to appeal issues that would otherwise be appealable if you were convicted at trial? Do you understand that, Mr. Fathy?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand that any appeal from the conviction and sentence pursuant to the plea will be by application for leave to appeal and not by right? Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you are not a citizen of the United States of America, a conviction of a crime may result in deportation, exclusion from admission to the United States of America, or denial of naturalization. Do you have any questions about the rights that I've given to you, sir?
No, Your Honor.
All right, sir, how do you wish to plead to the charge that on or about May 31 of 2022, I did it is in Tecumseh, so it just says Lenawee and Lenawee. Am I assuming it's a Tecumseh incident?
There is a revised information that does identify the city of Tecumseh as the venue.
Yep. I'm sorry, let me look for that. Okay. I can't find it, but okay, thank you. All right. Okay. I mean, it may be somewhere buried in there. So how do you wish to plead to the charge that on or about May 31 of 2022 in the city of Tecumseh in the county of Lenawee that you did commit the offense of receiving and concealing stolen property with a value of 200 to 1,000? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
All right. And has anyone made any threats or promises other than what was placed on the record to induce you to plead guilty to this charge?
No, Your Honor.
All right. And do you understand if I accept this plea, you will be giving up any and all claims that your plea is given as a result of promises or threats that were not disclosed to the court on the record during the hearing, or that it was not your own choice to enter the plea? Do you understand that, Mr. Fathy?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Outside of the agreement placed on the record, which is pretty comprehensive, is prosecutor and defense counsel aware of any other promises, threats, or inducements other than the plea bargain to induce the defendant to plead guilty? Mr. Sneed?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Dagger-Margosian?
No, Your Honor.
And we've already found a sentencing promise is placed on the record. So, Mr. Fathy, is it your own choice to plead guilty to this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Dagger-Margosian, do you want me to take the plea to the elements of the uttering and publishing?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. So, Mr. Fathy, back on May 31 of 2022 in the city of Tecumseh in the county of Lenawee, did you try to cash a check at Premier Bank for the company I Did It LLC?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And were you able to cash that check?
No, Your Honor.
All right. And did you have any right to fill out it? Did you write the check out to yourself or did somebody else?
Somebody else, Your Honor.
Okay. But you had no right to cash a check from I Did It LLC. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And okay, Mr. Dagger-Margosian, Mr. Sneed, anything else? Was the value between the value of the check was written out for $7,382.10, but again, you received no money, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Anything else, Mr. Sneed? Are you satisfied on that?
I am, Judge. Thank you.
Okay, so has the court complied with MCR 6.302 B, C, and D? Mr. Sneed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Dagger-Margosian?
Yes, Your Honor.
I accept the plea. It has been given understandably, voluntarily, and accurately. The defendant has full knowledge of his rights. He does have competent counsel. There is an agreement placed on this record. I'm going to refer this matter to the District Court Probation Department for a pre-sentence investigation. My sentencing date is, I think it's still July or August 1. You're available that day, Mr. Dagger-Margosian?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
So sentencing will be August 1 at 8:15 in the morning. Mr. Fathy, do you want to appear in person or via Zoom?
Via Zoom.
All right. Okay, so that will be via Zoom. And Mr. Fathy, not tomorrow, but next Thursday, I need you to come to the courthouse and I need you to go to the first floor probation department, all right? Because you applied to a misdemeanor, you got to go through the misdemeanor probation department.
Okay, now I live all the way in Jackson. Is there any way, because I don't have a vehicle, is there any way I can do that on the phone with probation or?
I can give you a phone number and you can talk to them. I mean, I drive to Jackson all the time for White's Chicken, so it's not that far, but I'll give you a phone number to call. Everybody goes to White's Chicken, right?
Yes,
So I'll
yes,
give you a
yes,
phone
they do.
number. I'll give you a phone number to call. So you got a piece of paper and a pen?
Yes, I'm getting it right now as we speak.
Okay.
All right, go ahead, Your Honor.
The phone number you're gonna wanna call is, I'm looking, area code 517 264
Yep.
4683. So 517-264-4683.
Yep.
All right, and his name is Mike, and you'll want to talk to him, all right?
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Now, remember, your sentencing is August 1 at 8:15 via
Yes.
Zoom, okay?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Malaro, let me close that breakout room, and then I'll put you, Mr. Malaro, you want to take care of Mr. Rogers first?
Sure, we can do that, Judge.
Okay, let me bring him back in. And then I'll get rid of, I'll take care of Mr. Montoyer, and then you should be done. Okay. All right, Mr. Rogers, this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Scott Allen Rogers. We have two files, 24-21764FH and 24-21815FH. I have Salvatore Malaro appearing on behalf of Mr. Rogers, and I have Isaac Sneed appearing on behalf of the people. This is the date and time set for pretrial in this matter. So, Mr. Malaro, how would you like to proceed with Mr. Rogers?
Your Honor, I'd ask to adjourn this matter one time so that I can see if we can reach a resolution on these matters. And I'd also, on behalf of Mr. Rogers, like to address bond briefly.
Okay, so I can adjourn this to next week or June 26th. Mr. Malaro, or the next date is July 3rd.
June 5th would be fine, Judge.
Okay, 30 in the morning. Mr. Malaro, you can do the stip in order to adjourn. Mr. Rogers, okay, Mr. Malaro, you can address bond.
Yes, Judge. So Mr. Rogers had been out on a bond previously before this new charge. He was drug testing twice a week. I'm not aware of him having any positive tests. However, Judge, since this new charge cropped up, he was employed. He still, still would expect a drug testing condition. And if the court would feel more comfortable in the state with a tether, I think Mr. Rogers is certainly capable of affording that. He does have a written lease that he has. It's up in June. He would like an opportunity to either make arrangements and or renew the lease so that he doesn't lose his personal possessions that he has in his apartment. So that'd be the basis for our request to reduce this to a PR bond with the conditions of drug testing and the added condition of a tether, Judge. Thank you.
All right. So we have the original offense was 12/27/23, and that was possession of methamphetamine and cocaine. He was released on a PR bond on that file. And then this new offense, April 19th of 24 is larceny plus 1, 2, 3 R&Os. All right. So who's my prosecutor, Mr. Sneed? What is your position on bond in this matter?
Your Honor, the people oppose the request. On the meth case, I believe the guidelines are at a 76-month term on the minimum. We're requesting MDOC time on these cases. He was released on bond out of district court and then committed 4 more felonies. So I'm surprised that there's a request for a PR bond, but obviously the people object to it. Thank you.
So Mr. Malaro, I am going to deny your request at this time. We are set for pretrial in about another week, so we can address it on that day again. So Mr. Rogers, we'll see you back on June 5 at 8:30 in the morning. Thank you.
All right, Judge, thank you.
Thank you. All right, do you need a breakout room with Mr. Montoyer?
Sure.
Okay, Mr. Montoyer, I'm going to put you and Mr. Jail room 4 into a breakout room. Okay, so
thank
Brian Boykins. Who's the attorney on that one again?
Pleasure.
All right, so I am going to skip to Mr. Boykins, Mr. Glazier, just because Mr. Hartung has been so patient this morning. So I got Mr. Boykins in my waiting room. I'll be with you in a minute. I got it finished up. Sam, you're next.
I'm going to see my MDOC in back.
Is he mine?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. Okay. Mr. Boykins trying to connect to audio. Send him a chat. All right, so Chris Jones. Okay. Gentleman in the far back, who's your attorney again?
Mr. Glazier?
All right, okay, hold on. All right, Ryan's trying to connect still. So Mr. Malaro, how do you want to proceed on behalf of Mr. Montoyer? Oh, let me call the case. In the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Anthony Michael Montoyer, 23-21632 FC and 24-21744 FH. I have Salvatore Malaro appearing on behalf of Mr. Montoyer, and I have Dave McCready appearing on behalf of the people. So, Mr. Malaro, how do you want to proceed today on behalf of Mr. Montoyer?
Sure, I'm going to ask to adjourn the matter one time. Mr. McCready has given me I would consider it a verbal offer that I need to review in depth with Mr. Montoyer. And then I think we'll know which direction we'll want to go.
Okay, so I'm going to
the basis for request.
All right, so I'm going to set this over to July 3rd at 8:30 in the morning. Mr. Malaro, if a resolution is reached, you can always try to bring them in before July or June 7. After that, Judge Olsaver may be willing to take a plea for the next couple weeks. So I'll set it for July 3rd at 8:30. You can do the stip in order to adjourn, but obviously if Mr. Montoyer wishes to avail himself of the plea bargain, either myself or Judge Olsaver would be glad to take it before Wednesday, all right?
Yep, thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you, Mr. Montoyer. We'll see you back.
Thank you.
Okay, so now, where'd he go? Brian is not connected. I'm gonna send him another chat. All right, sir, you want to come up to the podium? What's your name again?
Webb.
Yep. All right. Mr. Glazier, I have Mr. Webb in the courtroom while we're waiting for Mr. Boykins to connect.
Sure.
Right there. Yeah.
Okay, so this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Christopher Aaron Webb, file number 23-21230 FH. I have John Glazier appearing on behalf of Mr. Webb and Isaac Sneed appearing on behalf of the people. Mr. Webb is present in person. So Mr. Glazier, how would you like to proceed today?
Your Honor, I guess I'd ask to set this, so is there a pretrial and then a contempt of court? Is that what I'm?
Yes, sir.
I'd ask to maybe adjourn it out just to next week and have Mr. Webb come in and see me at my office.
Can you do that the next week? Is that enough time?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
All right, I'll set this over to June 5 at 8:30 in the morning. Ms. Adams, could I get a notice of hearing from Mr. Webb? All right, so Mr. Webb, if you can go over there today and schedule a time to meet with Mr. Glazier, you know where the office is?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and then just have a seat on the bench behind you and we'll give you a notice of hearing, all right? You're welcome. All right, so, Mr. Boykin, can you hear me? He's not. I think it's Brian. I'm assuming he's the only Brian.
That's him.
Is that him? All right, he's trying to connect to audio. Yes, Mr. Boykins, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Excellent, good. All right, this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Brian Kenneth David Boykins, file number 24-21753 FC. I have Douglas Hartung appearing on behalf of the people, and I have John Glazier appearing on behalf of Mr. Boykins. This is a date and time set for a pretrial conference in this matter. Mr. Glazier and Mr. Hartung, how do you wish to proceed today?
Your Honor, I reached out to Mr. Glazier yesterday and requested that this matter be adjourned for about 60 days. So some additional investigation can occur in the matter. I don't think you have any objection to that.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I don't have any objection. Mr. Boykins, they're gonna, Doug, is he gonna get a hold of my client to go down and do that, Polly?
We're gonna make the arrangements and have that happen, and we'll work through you and him.
All right, Mr. Boykins, we're adjourning this out. They're gonna ask to do a polygraph on the same issue you did here in my office, except it'll be down in Ohio where you did it before. Right?
Okay, so I already did it 2 times. So how many times do I have to do it?
This probably be the last one. Okay.
I hope so.
So they'll get a hold of you about it. All right.
Okay.
All right, so Mr. Boykins, we'll see you back on July 31 at 8:30 in the morning, and Mr. Glazier, you'll prepare the SIP in order to adjourn.
Okay, you said July
I can do
31st.
that. This is my request to adjourn.
Mr.
I can do
Glazier,
that.
Mr. Hartung said he would prepare the SIP in order.
All right.
And Mr. Boykins, what was your question?
What was the date again? Because I'm at work. It's kind of loud. I can't hear you.
July 31 at 8:30 in the morning. Want some more? Is that
Okay. Gotcha.
All right, thank you, Mr. Boykins. We'll see you back.
See you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, so I have Asia. Who's Asia? I'm gonna disconnect you, Mr. Boykins.
Gotcha.
I don't know who Asia is.
Have a good morning.
You too. Thank you, Mr. Hartung. All right, so Mr. Glazier. Daniel Norton. We get Mr. Norton. And then Ms. Barage, I'll take care of you.
Morning, Judge Angelo.
Hi, how are you?
Good, you?
I'm good. So I'm ready for Daniel Norton.
Okay, I'll get him in.
And I have another pickup. Who is it? Brian Fanslaw and Jamie Burke. So I'll take Mr. Norton first, but then I can take the pickups.
Okay, I will call down the booking and have them get them.
All right, thank you.
Mhm.
All right, Ms. Barrett, you want to come on up? All right, let's see what we got. Okay, this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Colleen Marie Barage, file number 21451FH. Ms. Barage, we are here on a request and summons for probation violation, which alleges that you were ordered to report to probation as often as required and that you failed to report on April 30th and May 7 as required or any time thereafter. Do you understand that's a charge against you?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Walsh and Ms. Holly, is there anybody present that could test Ms. Barage for me today? Okay, so you're gonna be dirty? What are you gonna be dirty for? Cocaine? Okay, never mind. Well,
Okay,
actually,
good, because I
no,
can't.
actually,
All right,
I
thank
can
you.
get, I actually still want her tested, so let me see if I can get Darren, is there any women working in the office today?
I
or
don't
no?
know. Usually there's quite a bit in the office on Wednesday, I thought.
Let me call Colette, I still want to test it.
Judge, may I leave?
If you want to, or you can hang out.
Well, I have something to Judge Olsaver.
Okay, bye, Sam.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Do I have anybody that could test a female today?
I believe so, yes. Where do you want me to send them?
I can send her into the probation office to have a seat.
Okay, we'll do.
All right, thank you. So, yeah, it's right here.
Okay.
Okay, the water fountain's right here.
Okay.
And you can take a cup if you want the distilled water that comes out of it and have a seat in the probation office.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Okay, okay, somebody from the jail, what's your name, please?
Daniel Norton.
Okay, so hold on. This is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Daniel Philip Norton. We have two files, 23-21382FH and 24-21826FH. I have John, I guess it's John Glazier now. Well, wait, what is one of these? This is one is a probation violation and file number 24-21826FH is a arraignment. Today, Mr. Glazier, and like I said, I have John Glazier appearing on both the files. I have Isaac Sneed appearing on behalf of the people. My pretrial services coordinator, Darren Coast, who is quite a go-getter and is doing an amazing job, has done some recent training for pretrial assessments at the jail prior to arraignment to see recommendations on releases. So I just want you to know, Mr. Glazier, we are doing that now prior to arraignment on a lot of our files for people who are in custody.
Doing
So,
what?
Mr.
Excuse me, Your Honor, doing what?
So Mr. Coast, who is our pretrial service coordinator, many counties do pretrial assessments. So once they're bound over to circuit court, he will do an assessment at the jail with a score regarding any potential for release. So if he assesses somebody who scores low enough, he would recommend release on tether or just release with testing, or based on their prior history and current issues, he may not recommend. I just wanted you to know he did do an assessment on Mr. Norton.
Okay, so what was the result of the assessment?
Well, he scored nearly an 8. He scored an 8, nearly the max. Based on the assessment, he doesn't appear likely to appear for future dates and also to reoffend while out on bond. And he said that the $4,000 bond appears appropriate. He doesn't believe he would be successful on tether. And obviously it's something we can address. He has absconded from probation anyway on the probation violation, which would support that. So, Mr. Glazier, how would you like to proceed today on the pretrial on these files?
I guess I need to speak with Mr. Norton, Your Honor.
Okay, and Mr. Norton, I'm gonna open up a breakout room. It's Mr. Glazier's, let's see, last file with me, so hold on. So, Mr. Norton, let me change your screen name, so. Daniel, right? No, you're in, yep, I did, okay. So I'm going to assign Mr. Glazier and Mr. Norton to a breakout room. Okay. I have left with you, Mr. Murphy. So Ms. Barage is texting. Rhonda.
I'm just here for the pickup on Fanslow. That's what I was waiting around for, or Fanslow.
Oh, so are you on the prior one as well?
I'm on his underline. I was just having him screen for sobriety court, and then I was informed of this pickup this morning, so I figured I would just stick around and handle it.
You also have Jeffrey Moody this morning.
Yeah, what's up with Jeffrey Moody this morning?
So let me look. So in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Jeffrey William Moody, file number 23-21623FH. It's a pre-trial conference. I don't know. So it looks like,
He was sentenced.
now let's see. Hold on, I'm looking. We have removal of entry from lien. We have a noli pros of his supplements. Notice of right to appellate review. So, Mr. Jones, are you on Mr. Moody?
I don't believe I'm on. He's already been sentenced to prison, Judge. I think we already took care of that possession method. I mean, unless it's a newer case.
No, it looks like he was sentenced. So, Ms. Adams, he shows up on our docket. I do show I sentenced him 19 months to 10 years.
Did he file to appeal and something got confused?
Last I see was a stip and order adjourning to today from May 2nd. Let me pull that up.
Well, he got sentenced on to prison back on, no, he didn't appeal. I show he went to prison back on.
I see what happened, Judge. The wrong stip and order was scanned in on that file.
Okay.
So that's not for today.
Okay, so we're done with Mr. Norton. Okay, Mr. Glazier, back with Mr. Norton.
Could I talk to Chris Jones a second, Your Honor? He's shaking his head no. Tell him yes.
No. Well, I'm not supposed to be doing breakout rooms at all. I just yelled at Mr. Murphy or Mr. Murphy.
It's all right.
And
I've never talked to Chris. This is the first time I've been on the VOP. He wants to talk to me, even if he's shaking his head no. He wants to talk to me. I know he does.
All right. All right, there you go.
I can call. Oh.
All right, so we're going to take about a 2-minute break. Ms. Spade. Thank you, Judge.
Hey, John. Yeah. Larry Clark's here. Oh, yes. Can you call over and tell Judge Allsaver that I'll be on Zoom after I do this?
Hey, John, can you call me real quick?
Yeah.
4579.
Okay. I'm gonna mute this.
Or Tom Moore.
Thank you.
Joanne, Tom Moore too.
Oh, really?
Oh. Okay, all right. Oh, Mr. Glazier's on the phone. He's on the phone with Chris Jones. All right, Mr. Glazier, you done chatting with Mr. Jones?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
All right, and how would you like to proceed on behalf of Mr. Norton today?
Your Honor, he's gonna plead to the violation of probation. And on the new file, there should be, or if there isn't, there should be an amended count. And it's not on there, but it would be fleeing, eluding fourth. And he's gonna plead guilty to fleeing, eluding fourth. And the habitual offender would be dismissed, and there was an agreement it would run concurrent with whatever he gets on the VOP.
All right, so on file number 24-21826, I do not have an amended information. So there's going to be an added count 3, fleeing and eluding fourth degree.
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right, who's my prosecutor?
Judge, it's not me, but I can step in.
All right, so on 24-21826FH, there's gonna be a count 3, fleeing and eluding fourth degree. That's a 2-year, Mr. Glazier, if I remember.
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
All right, count 1 and 2, as well as his habitual offender fourth offense notice would be dismissed. All right, and then he's gonna plead guilty to the violation of probation on 23-21382FH. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right, is that correct as far as you're aware? Miss Wagner?
Yes, Your Honor, that looks right.
Your Honor, there was also an agreement that Mr. Jones would root for Michigan this year when they play Ohio State.
I believe that, well, that would be unconstitutional. So, yep, that would be unconstitutional, as you know. It's Ohio State and we're a house divided at my house. So I graduated from state and my husband was unfortunately born in Ohio. So
I just thought I'd try it just to see if I could get it by.
Mr. Jones, you want to weigh in on that or?
I don't want to get myself in trouble.
Okay. All right. So Mr. Do you waive the reading of the information on the arraignment on the new file, Mr. Glazier?
Yes, we'd waive the reading, yeah.
All right. Mr. Norton, all football jokes aside, you want to raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
And you're Daniel Philip Norton?
Yes.
All right, so Mr. Norton, you've heard the statement of your attorney and the prosecuting attorney. Is it your intention on file number 24-21826FH to plead on an amended information to count 3, police officer fleeing 4th degree, which carries a maximum penalty of up to 2 years in prison and up to a $5,000 fine? And I do believe there's a license suspension with that. So is it your intention to plead guilty to that count, Mr. Norton?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. And then on file number 23-21382FH, that's a probation violation, which alleges that you violated the terms of your probation. Let me get back there. By committing a technical violation for failure to report to the probation department on March 19th of 2024 or any time thereafter. Now that is a larceny from a motor vehicle charge, and let me check I think the max penalty is, yep, 5 years. So you understand the maximum penalty on that offense could be up to 5 years in prison. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay, and is it your intention to plead guilty to that violation of probation?
Yes.
All right, are you satisfied with Mr. Glazier as your attorney and the advice that he has given you?
Yes.
Now, do you understand that, or well, neither the prosecutor, the defendant, nor anyone on the defendant's behalf has discussed a possible sentence with the court? Is that correct, Mr. Glazier?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Is that correct, Ms. Wagner?
Yes, Your Honor.
And the agreement would be that his sentence would be the same as on the BOP. Is that correct, Mr. Glazier?
Not the same, but it would run concurrent, Your Honor.
All right. Let me make that no concurrent to BOP. Okay. All right. Sir, if a guilty plea is accepted, there will be no trial. This means that you will be giving up rights you would have had at trial. I'm going to explain those rights to you now to make sure that you understand them. You have a right to a speedy public trial by jury. You may ask for a non-jury trial, and if the prosecutor and court agree, you can have a non-jury trial. You have the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to have the prosecuting attorney prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty, and you do not have to prove anything. You have the right to be present at trial and have witnesses against you appear at your trial to ask those witnesses questions. You have the right to have the court order any witnesses you have for your defense to appear at the trial. You have the right to remain silent during your trial, not to have your silence used against you. However, you also have the right to testify at your trial if you want to testify. Do you understand, Mr. Norton, that if your plea is accepted, you may be giving up the right to appeal issues that would otherwise be appealable had you been convicted at trial? Do you understand that?
Yes. Yes, I do.
All right. Good. Do you understand that any appeal from the conviction and sentence pursuant to the plea will be by application for leave to appeal and not by right? Do you understand that?
Yes.
If you are not a citizen of the United States of America, a conviction of a crime may result in deportation, exclusion from admission to the United States of America, or denial of naturalization. Do you have any questions, Mr. Norton, about the rights that I've given to you? Okay.
No.
So, Mr. Norton, on file number 23-21382FH, how do you plead to the charge that you committed a technical probation violation by failing to report to the probation department as ordered on March 19th of 2024 or any time thereafter? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Okay, and Mr. Norton, how do you plead to the charge on file number 24-21826FH that on May 7th of 2024 in the city of Adrian in the county of Lenawee, that you did commit the offense added under count 3, police officer fleeing 4th degree, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Has anyone made any threats or promises to you to induce you to plead guilty to these charges other than what was placed on the record?
No.
Do you understand if I accept these pleas, you will be giving up any and all claims that your plea is given as a result of promises or threats that were not disclosed to the court on the record during this hearing, or that it was not your own choice to enter the plea? Do you understand that?
Yes.
Is the prosecutor or defense counsel aware of any promises or threats or inducements other than the plea bargain to induce the defendant to plead guilty? Mr. Glazier?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Wagner?
No, Your Honor.
Other than what was placed on the record, Mr. Norton, has your attorney promised you any particular sentence or estimated what your sentence will be?
No.
Okay, is it your own choice to plead guilty?
Yes.
All right, so Mr. Norton, on file number 23-21382FH, you were placed on probation for a charge of larceny from a motor vehicle. And one of the terms of your probation is that you were ordered to report as often as possible. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, you were supposed to report on March 19th of 2024, and did you report that day?
No, I missed that day.
Okay. Now, on file number 24-21826FH, on May 7th of 2024, we in the city of Adrian in the county of Lenawee.
Yes.
On that day, were you operating a motor vehicle?
Yes, I was.
All right, and at some point, a Michigan State trooper was behind you, is that correct?
Yes.
All right, and was he in his trooper car? Was he in the blue car with the lights?
Yes. Yes,
Okay,
it was a state.
Yep, and you knew it was the state trooper?
Yes, I didn't pull over in time. I was trying to get the vehicle home to the owner.
Okay, so he put his signals on for you to pull over and you failed to do that?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Is there a speed limit requirement on, well, for purposes, I'm not sure, but would you agree that the speed limit where you were was 35 miles an hour or less?
Yes.
And did you go over that?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Your Honor, there's no speed limit requirement, but if I could ask just one follow-up question.
Sure.
Mr. Norton, would you agree that in failing to stop your motor vehicle for the trooper, that you were attempting to flee and elude the officer at that time?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
thank you. No other questions.
All right. Has the court complied with MCR 6.302 B, C, and D? Mr. Glazier?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Wagner?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I accept the plea. It has been given understandably, voluntarily, and accurately. The defendant has full knowledge of his rights, and he does have competent counsel. I'm going to refer, other than it could run concurrent, this court has made no agreement regarding the possibility of a plea or possible sentence in this case with the prosecutor, the defense attorney, the defendant, or anyone acting in the interest of either of them. I'm going to refer this matter to the probation department for a pre-sentence investigation. We will set this matter for sentencing on both of them on August 1 at 8:15 in the morning. Mr. Norton, do you want to appear in person or via Zoom?
It could be Zoom.
Okay, so Mr. Norton, someone from the Michigan Department of Corrections is going to come over and meet with you. Be truthful with them about your background and also the events that occurred, and we'll see you back on August 1 at 8:15. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Your
Ms.
Honor.
Miller.
I think that's all I have with you, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Glazier. Thank you, Mr. Norton.
Yep, thank you.
All right, so. So I take two of the public defenders first, and then they go down there. So Ms. Underwood kind of floats, so I apologize for that. So get your file. This is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Mackenzie Ricole Miller, file number 24-21725FH. and 22-20935FH. So we have a probation violation on that file. So from the jail, I'm just gonna pop in the waiting room real quick because we're getting some feedback from your room and I'll bring you right back, okay? Okay, so, all right, and okay, pronoun preferences? I don't know. Okay, so, Ms. Underwood, this is a date and time set for a pretrial on the new file, as well as a pretrial on the violation of probation. So how do you wish to proceed today?
Your Honor, I've discussed this matter with Ms. Miller, and the prosecutor. I'm still doing some investigation on this matter, Your Honor. I wonder if we could put it out for about a month.
Okay, that's fine. My next available is July 3rd. Is that all right?
That's fine.
Okay. Ms. Adams, could I get a notice for Ms. Miller for July 3rd? Okay. Yep. July 3rd at 8:30. Ms. Adams, no, we'll leave it at 8:30. Just know that Ms. Underwood goes to back and forth with MDOC. Are you ready for MDOC, by the way?
I would like to have a brief cops conference with the court.
Okay, all right. So Ms. Miller, we'll see you back July 3rd at 8:30 in the morning. And Ms. Underwood, you'll do this. Well, we'll do the notice because I'm going to give Ms. Miller a notice today. All right. Yep. So Ms. Miller, have a seat behind your attorney and we will get you that notice. All right. I have James Derby. Ms. Underwood.
Oh, Mr. Derby?
Yeah.
Is he here?
Yeah, via Zoom.
Oh, great. Great. I believe we're going to take a plea in this matter.
Okay. Mr. Derby, if you want to go ahead and unmute your device and start your audio. All right, Mr. Derby, give me just 1 second.
Can you hear me?
Okay. This is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus James Edward Derby, file number 23-21594FH. I have Rhonda Underwood appearing on behalf of Mr. Derby, and I have Amanda Wagner appearing on behalf of the people. This is the date and time set for pre-trial. I received an amended felony information. I received the voir dire questions, jury instructions, verdict form, and on the amended information, there was an added count 2, attempted police officer assaulting, resisting, and obstructing. So, Ms. Underwood, how would you like to proceed today?
I believe Mr. Derby wishes to accept the offer of the prosecutor, Your Honor, to plead guilty to the attempt with a no upfront jail provision, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. Ms. Wagner is plea offer in this matter to plead to count 2, attempted police officer assaulting, resisting, obstructing, dismiss count 1, as well as the habitual offender third offense notice with a cause to no upfront jail.
That's exactly correct. Yeah, that's exactly correct, Judge. And before you take the plea, I apologize. I didn't catch on the amended information that it put in Lenawee County as the venue. It's going to be Medina Township.
Okay, very good. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. So, Mr. Derby, you want to raise your right hand? You raise it so I can see it on the screen, Mr. Derby. All right. Thank you. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you can put your hand down now, Mr. Derby. So, Mr. Derby, you have heard the statement of your attorney and the prosecuting attorney. Is it your intention to plead guilty to count 2, attempted police officer assaulting, resisting, and obstructing, which carries a maximum penalty of up to 2 years in prison and or a $2,000 fine, even though there's an agreement, a Killebrew agreement, that there would be no upfront jail? So is it your intention to plead guilty to this charge?
Can I have you repeat that to me, please?
Sure. So on the felony information, there's an added count 2. Is it your intention to plead guilty to attempted police officer assaulting, resisting, and obstructing, which the felony information is also wrong. It's a 1-year misdemeanor. It says 2 years. So can I get another amended information with those corrections?
Yes, I will, Judge.
Okay, which carries a maximum penalty of up to 1 year in jail and or a $2,000 fine. So is it your intention to plead guilty to that count, Mr. Derby?
Yes.
Okay, now, Mr. Derby, even though it carries a maximum penalty of up to 1 year in jail, there's an agreement that you would serve no upfront jail. Do you understand that?
Yes.
And then count 1 and the habitual offender third offense notice would be dismissed at the time of sentencing. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. Are you satisfied with Miss Underwood as your attorney and the advice that she has given you?
Yes.
All right. Neither the prosecutor, the defendant, nor anyone on the defendant's behalf has discussed any other possible sentence with the court other than no upfront jail. Is that correct, Miss Underwood?
It is, Your
And
Honor.
Miss Wagner?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Derby, is that correct as far as you're aware?
Yes.
If a guilty plea is accepted, Mr. Derby, there will be no trial. This means that you will be giving up rights you would have had at trial. I'm going to explain those rights to you now to make sure that you understand them. You have a right to a speedy public trial by jury. You may ask for a non-jury trial, and if the prosecutor and court agree, you can have a non-jury trial. You have the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to have the prosecuting attorney prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty and you do not have to prove anything. You have the right to be present at trial and have witnesses against you appear at your trial and to ask those witnesses questions. You have the right to have the court order any witnesses you have for your defense to appear at the trial. You have the right to remain silent during your trial and not to have your silence used against you. However, you also have the right to testify at your trial if you want to testify. Do you understand that if your plea is accepted, you may be giving up the right to appeal issues that would otherwise be appealable if you had been convicted at trial? Do you understand that, Mr. Derby?
Yes.
Okay. Do you understand that any appeal from the conviction and sentence pursuant to the plea will be by application for leave to appeal and not by right? Do you understand that?
Yes.
If you are not a citizen of the United States of America, a conviction of a crime may result in deportation, exclusion from admission to the United States of America, or denial of naturalization. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you have any questions about the rights that I've given to you?
No.
All right, so sir, how do you plead to the charge that on or about August 21 of 2023 in the, what did we say it was?
Medina Township.
Medina Township in the county of Lenawee, that you did commit the offense of attempted police officer assaulting, resisting, and obstructing. Is that guilty or not guilty, Mr. Derby?
Guilty.
Okay. Has anyone made any threats or promises to you to induce you to plead guilty to this charge, Mr. Derby?
No.
Do you understand that if I accept this plea, you will be giving up any and all claims that your plea is given as a result of promises or threats that were not disclosed to the court on the record during this hearing, or that it was not your own choice to enter the plea? Do you understand that?
Yes.
Is the prosecutor or defense counsel aware of any promises or threats or inducements other than the plea bargain to induce the defendant to plead guilty? Miss Underwood?
No.
And Miss Wagner?
No, Your Honor.
Other than no upfront jail, Mr. Derby, has your attorney promised you any particular sentence or estimated what your sentence will be other than that?
No.
Is it your own choice to plead guilty?
Yes.
All right. All right, so Mr. Derby, on August 21 of 2023, were you in Medina Township in the county of Lenawee?
Yes.
Okay, and did you come in contact with, hold on one second, Sarah, what is it?
Positive for cocaine and meth.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, so Mr. Derby, when you were there, did you come in contact with a Lenawee County Sheriff's deputy?
It was a firefighter, Your Honor.
It says Deputy Joshua Press. Okay, so there's a Robert, he must be the officer that wrote the report. So you came in contact with a Roger Robinson, who is with the fire department. Is that correct, Mr. Derby?
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Wagner, do you want, or somebody wanna?
Sure, I can do that, Your Honor. Mr. Derby, on August 21st, 2023, when the Morenci Fire Department responded to your home, you knew that they were firefighters, correct?
Yes.
And they were there responding to a report of a fire. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay, and you recognize them as firefighters?
Yes.
Okay, and did you assault or resist or obstruct or oppose the firefighter Roger Robinson in some way?
Yes.
Okay, and how did you do that?
I held my hands up and
Did you touch his chest, Mr.
Hold
Derby?
on, Ms. Underwood.
I believe I did.
Okay.
So you pushed him away?
Not necessarily pushed, but I held my hand up and it did come in contact with him.
Okay, and he had he was there because of a fire complaint, and he had a lawful right to enter the property based on that fire complaint, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, Ms. Wagner.
Yes, I'm satisfied with that, Judge.
All right, has the court complied with MCR 6.302 B, C, and D? Ms. Underwood?
It has.
And Ms. Wagner?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, hold on 1 second. Okay. All right, accept the plea has been given understandably, voluntarily, and accurately. The defendant has full knowledge of his rights. He has competent counsel. This court has made no agreement regarding the possibility of a plea or possible sentence in this case with the prosecutor, the defense attorney, the defendant, or anyone acting in the interest of either of them. I'm going to refer this matter to the District Court Probation Department for a pre-sentence investigation. So Mr. Derby, it's a misdemeanor, so you're gonna have to report to the District Court Probation Office next Thursday morning at 8 o'clock, all right?
Okay.
All right, and I'm going to set sentencing for August 1 at 8:15 in the morning. Mr. Derby, there is a Killebrew to no upfront jail. So do you wish to appear for sentencing via Zoom or in person? Zoom, okay.
Zoom is easier for me because I don't have a driver's license.
Sure, okay. So next Thursday, not tomorrow, but next Thursday, you need to report to District Court Probation Department around 8 o'clock. When you meet with them, be truthful about the events that occurred, your background. They'll prepare a report. We'll provide that to Ms. Underwood. Reach out to her about a week before sentencing, all right, to review that?
Yes.
Okay, and then we'll see you back on that date.
What, can I have that date again?
The date again?
Yes,
Is that
please.
okay, it's
I believe it's August
1 at 8:15, okay?
8:15, okay.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you, Mr. Derby. We'll see you back on that day.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so I have the jail. Let's see here. Ms. Barage. Who's your prosecutor and Mr. Shelton? Oh, you can disconnect, Mr. Derby. I'm gonna help you on your way.
I'm trying.
Oh, I gotcha. All right, so, and who do I have from the jail?
Burke, Jamie.
James Burke. Okay. Mr. Murphy, is that who you're doing?
No, Your Honor, I was waiting for Mr. Franzlau to pick up violation.
Okay. All right. So this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Jamie Kaylee Burke, file number 23-21220FH. Mr. Burke, we are here today on a request and warrant for probation violation. which alleges that you have violated the terms of your probation, that you were arrested on March 20th of 2024 and charged with retail fraud, 3rd degree in the 35th District Court. Where's the 35th District Court, Mr. Burke?
That's
that one should be Canton.
It's Canton. Okay. All right. 3rd Circuit is District Court. It's Detroit. Yeah, I don't know. All right. And so you're arrested and charged, and you pled guilty to that charge around March 27 of 2024. So do you understand those are the allegations against you?
Yes, I do. I do plead
All
guilty.
right, and you're currently on probation for larceny from a motor vehicle. So, Mr. Burke, do you understand if you plead guilty or found guilty, you could be facing up to 5 years in prison? Do you understand that?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
All right, and Mr. Burke, you do have the right to have an attorney represent you at this and all subsequent hearings. I do show that you were represented by a public defender on the underlying file. So, Mr. Malaro, but sir, would you like an attorney appointed to represent you?
Either way, I'm guilty. So I'm leaving it up to you. I don't need.
Well, no, Mr. Burke. So let's talk about this. So you can't leave it up to me because you are potentially facing a jail. Hold on, let me talk. So, I mean, I appreciate that you said that you're guilty, but you have a right because you could be facing jail. You always have a right to have a court-appointed attorney if you can't afford to hire one. So if you would like an attorney, I'll appoint you one today. If you don't, we'll proceed, and then I'll offer you another one for sentencing, all right?
I appreciate that very much. We will proceed without one. I appreciate that.
Okay, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Absolutely, Your Honor.
And you are Jamie Kaylee Burke, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor. My name is Jamie Kaylee Burke.
All right, you can put your hand down. So, Mr. Burke, you were placed on probation, and you have articles of probation dated June 23rd of 2023. And one of your terms of probation is you were not to commit any new criminal offenses. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. Now on March 20th, it's alleged that you were arrested and charged with retail fraud, 3rd degree, and you pled guilty to that charge. So do you understand that you have a right to, I got to go through your rights with you. You understand that you have a right to contest this violation of probation charge. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay, you understand. I got to go through all your rights with you, whether you're pleading guilty or not, because I don't want the
There
powers
is
that
one
be.
thing that I don't. There is something I don't understand.
Can I go through my rights and then we talk about it?
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, so do you understand that throughout the trial, you would be presumed innocent until your guilt is proven by a preponderance of the evidence? Do you understand that? All right, you have a right to have all the witnesses against you appear at your trial, to have your lawyer ask those witnesses questions, or you may ask them yourself, and to have any order any witnesses you might have to appear at that trial. Do you understand all of that?
Yes.
All right. You do not have to testify at your trial, and no one can say anything about you not testifying or hold it against you in any way. Do you understand all of that?
Yes.
On the other hand, do you understand that you have a right to testify at your trial if you want to testify? Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right. And Miss Holly, this is a Tom Moore file. All right. So first, what was your question, Mr. Burke?
Contesting. So that I don't ever understand on my side of things, due to the fact of, well, if you were in jail, you pled, there's no way of getting out of that. The only thing that I can ask of you at this point would be, I already said I am guilty to that over there. I am serving 30 days in Wayne County, June 14th.
Okay.
I am on probation here, and I'm on probation in Jackson. So I got flopped here and in Jackson. And I didn't know if there's any way, possible any way, of taking the Wayne here and there, whichever one's the largest, combining them and doing the largest time.
Okay, so, all right, so let's start with the first thing. You said you didn't understand the term contest.
Correct.
So all that means is you don't plead guilty, you say you didn't commit the crime, and by contesting it, you have a trial on it, okay?
Thank you. So
it's a very old, yeah, okay, it's a very old formal term. All right, so you're on probation. If you were given jail terms in each of the counties, they would run together, okay?
They will run together.
Huh?
Because last time I was in jail, they did not run together. I had to go from Livonia to Jackson to here. They did not run together last time, so that's why I'm trying to get them to run together this time, so I don't spend 3 months of my life behind bars if I only had 30 days to do for each one. Does that make sense?
Well, Miss Holly, usually jail terms run together. Prison terms do not.
Yeah, it depends on when this warrant was signed, because if this warrant got signed after all the other ones, then he wouldn't get credit for that.
So, okay, I think all right, so what I think happened probably, Mr. Burke, is so I signed this warrant back on May 24th, all right? So technically, any time you serve would start like May 24th, okay? Were you incarcerated in Wayne County on May 24th?
Not in Wayne. No. I was out. Sorry, I've been in jail like 4 or 5 times in the last year, and it's just trying too hard to keep up on. Because of probation violations. Believe it or not.
So, you know, we'll look at what your terms are at the time of sentencing, all right? And what your sentences are in all the other counties, okay? Okay,
Thank you.
So, all right, how do you plead to the charge that you violated the terms of your probation by being arrested and pleading guilty to a retail fraud 3rd degree on March 27 of 2024? Guilty or not guilty?
All that is correct, so guilty.
Okay, do you understand by pleading guilty, you'll be giving up your right to a trial and your rights to have a lawyer's assistance, as I've already explained to you. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
And no one's promised you anything to get you to plead guilty or threatened you in any way. Is that correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
If I accept this plea, you will be giving up any and all claims that your plea is given as a result of promises or threats that were not disclosed to the court on the record during this hearing, or that it was not your own choice to enter the plea. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is it your own choice to enter the plea of guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so Mr. Burke, you were placed on probation back on, and you signed your articles of probation dated June 23rd of 2023. At that time, one of the terms of probation is you were not to commit any new crimes or offenses. So on March 20th of 2024, you were arrested and charged with retail fraud 3rd degree in the 35th District Court. And did you plead guilty to that charge on or about March 27 of 2024?
Yes.
All right. And they're sentencing you when in June? June what?
June 14th for 30 days.
You got, okay. All right. Is that your sentencing date, June 14th?
Correct. I had to turn myself into the Wayne County Jail.
Okay. All right.
The judge gave me about almost 3 weeks to try and get everything in order. I just had a trial. I beat my trial yesterday, and then I was arrested right after I beat my trial. So where was your trial at yesterday? Trying to think. Livonia. Yes. Sorry. It's been a crazy year.
Yes. All right. I accept the plea. It has been given understandably, voluntarily, and accurately. The defendant has full knowledge of his rights. He has waived counsel at this point. So, Mr. Burke, I am going to set this for sentencing. And I have to be June 5 at 8 o'clock in the morning. Do you want an attorney for sentencing?
No, thank you.
All right, so I'm gonna set it for June 5 at 8 AM in the morning. So Mr. Moore will do an update, probation violation report, be truthful with them about everything that's happening. And we'll see you back at that time for sentencing. I remember you from before, Mr. Burke, you make me really sad because you're highly intelligent, you're super personable, and I don't know if it's being driven by addiction, but you got to figure this out. You're way too young to not remember what court you were in yesterday. All right.
I also did do 16 hours without sleep.
Yeah,
So,
but there are way too many
alone.
charges and you're too nice for this. So you got to figure out how to end this. So we'll see you back next Wednesday at 8 o'clock in the morning for sentencing. All right.
And I'm staying in jail until then, correct?
Well, yeah, I'm not gonna lose you to some other court. Jackson can always zoom you in if they want, okay?
How do I include Jackson into all of this? How do I do
So
that?
it's Jackson District Court or Circuit Court?
District, I would want to say. I am so sorry. I swear, I am so sorry.
This is
I'm
what I
trying to
need,
get-
Mr. Burke. You really need to figure this out, right? Because this
Yes.
is gonna be your life unless you figure this out.
Agreed, and it
All right,
seems like
so
it's just.
we'll make a
continuously-
note to see if we can pull you up in Jackson, notify them that you're here and they can Zoom with you, all right?
You're amazing. Seriously, you are amazing. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, you're all set. You can go.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.
And what time was it? The fifth question?
8 AM.
8 AM? Perfect.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so
All right.
much.
Miss Adams, I'm gonna put a note to have Sierra find them in Jackson like she does, and we'll notify them. I think she has a contact there. All right, so, who's your prosecutor, Miss Underwood, on MDOC?
I think that's Ms. Montoyer, Your Honor.
Are you filling in, Mr. Steen?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, so you're covering for Miss McClure today?
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay, let me stop YouTube real quick for a bench conference. I just like that kid. He's always so nice and it's
He's
so
very
sad.
likable. Off the record, Judge.